Hello everyone, welcome back to the session. So, in a previous session, we have learned about conditional rendering and after that event handlers, all the things like change event, click key press event, and all, select event, right? So, here we will continue further with the depth of knowledge like form handling, and further you will learn about list rendering, nothing but map function, and after that, you will learn about control uncontrolled components. And we can further we will learn about child to parent component data transfer, so using callback function. So as you can see, these are the four main topics and advanced topics in the end of the React we are learning on, which is form handling, rendering, and control non-control and child to parent. So let's go with the form handling first, then we will go with the further things. So if you remember exactly, in the two classes back, I have told you how to get the APIs from backend API to here. But now in this session, you will get to know how to send the API data from front end to backend. See, anywhere or everywhere, wherever the application we have, it will be sending data from front end to back end, and it will be stored in the DB. Then and it's again retrieved, or else the data will be calling via API from back end to front end to show it in a UI part in a different view model. Like for example, your name is Hari and your age is this one, like 21, and your branch is CSC, okay, and you are sending the data and it will be saving. And front end, whenever any other user want to know any CSC candidates are there or any age candidates less than 25, your name will be reflected. That's how the application will work. You got it right. So that's how we will show the data based upon the user requirement, and apart from that we will save the data also from the front end. So first of all, let's create a component. Let's create a component with name form handling.js. okay, so RFC and importing React. Okay, so for now, let's import anything, whatever the data we need a state constant form data comma set form data, say equal to use state with an empty of object, where in this object I will write initially first name should be mine is like empty, then after that last name is this one, after that age is 0, after that where I am using institute, let's take not institute, training, in which training you are using is empty string. Okay, so this is how we are saving. Initially we are saving the data like this. So once we are handling the data, you will get it everything what we have to do and all the stuff. So for now, remember that this is the data initial state. Okay, now first create a form. So we will create a form and we will create a label with the name of first name, and we will create what we can create till input with form data dot first name, I think. Yeah, so This is the thing, and I will create a function. For now, let's keep it as an empty with an tag, empty tag. Okay, now we will do it same for all the things. Let's create a br tag. For now, I don't want to do stylings because I'm going for logic, right? Not for this stuff. So let's create control V, control V, control V, last name, make sure whatever you are writing here, it should be here, form data dot whatever you are giving here, age training. So age training. Okay, so this is the form data. Now I have to on change, I have to create a function which everything should be in above written only. So I'm creating a function here. So first of all, this is for state management, right? Let me it state management. Okay, now let's go for input changes, what we are given here. So what are the input changes? What is the function we can use? Constant handle input change, where I will give as input event. Inside that event, what will use constant with the value of name. What is that? Left side key value and right side as a value. I will keep it as event dot target. So this is how event dot target will use. Next, set form data I will use, where inside that set form data I will use spread operator. You know, right? Spread operator, form data, which is initial data we are using, with a name, where name is in value I am giving, and value. So what I'm doing here, input change, whatever event is happening in the name and value, I'm targeting that, and I'm setting in that on with adding with the existing data. For example, first time it will go for first name. After that I'm entering, and again it will be triggering this function, and it will go for the last name, where the name is there. I'm entering that value as in value. Okay, I will tell you, explain little. For example, I'm entering here first name as a Hari, so it will trigger this function, and it will go into the first name, and it will check, it will take the values of name and value here. So this is what is this form data dot first name. This is a name, and this is a whatever we are sending value. So it will check first name, and it will enter whatever we are entering in the data of input as a first name. Again it will again when I'm entering the last name, again this function will trigger, and what is the previous data I have entered in the first name, it will be saved here in the dot 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 form, and then I will enter the value in the last name. It will be checking whether the name value is correct or not, then it will be entered the value. That's how it will work. Okay, so now I will use this function inside here, triggering this function, triggering this function, triggering this function, triggering inside this function. So for your case, if you want to check whether it's working or not, handle change working. Okay, for console we can check it whenever we are entering the value, it's triggering or not. That's how we can check in real life scenario also. Okay, now we will write another function to submit the form, so that on submit only we need the data, right? So submit form, where I will write constant handle submit equal to entering data with an arrow function, and inside the entering data I will use event dot, I will use event, where event triggering event dot prevent default, where I'm resisting initially. After that, console.log of form data, form data. So I'm pushing the form data here. So once, how it will be triggered when we are submitting the data. So on submit, yeah. So here how we are doing it. So this is the function. What we will do next, we have to, for submitting we have to any action, right? That action where we can see with the help of button on clicking on the button, right? So submit, type equal to submit, we are getting it, and we can check console.log of submit button triggered. Okay, now we are planning to call this inside here. So import form submit from dot slash component slash where is that form where we have submitted it, form handling. Okay, it's an event handler slash form handling. Okay, so now instead of all these things, I'm deleting it, deleting the stuff. Now form submit, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So let's see what is an error. React hook state in use is a function form is neither a React function component nor a custom hook. We start with an uppercase. Somewhere we are using lower cases. That is the issue. Sometimes it's my bad habit. Here, form handling. Yeah, I think we got it. Now let's check it. See, handle change is working. So when I am entering data, here it's entering data and entering the data, and when I'm submitting, it's getting it. So that's how we will get a form data, D, age, whatever we are sending. So I hope you got that. Submitting it, submit triggered. This is the thing. That's how we will get it data. So everything is working fine. So this is the example of form handling. And list rendering means I already told, we have already used for mapping there, but I will tell you again of our map function. Let me delete this up to here, up to here. Okay, so list rendering, how will you do? Nothing. Instead of calling array, I want to directly call here constant items. I will use for now is empty data, where items I can use like 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I want to render all these things in here. So how can I render? First, div, inside the div I will use h2 tag for showing heading list rendering. So once I check it, I'm getting list rendering data. Now how I want to show as a UL tag. In UL tag, what I can do, I have to use the items map with an item. where list is the key value, I will get 1 2 3 4 5 6. See, nothing, that is simple. Means here map function where it's taking items from the state data, and that's we are rendering here with a key value, where key is an unique value. I said right here the key is the index, so index, and we are getting that item, nothing more than that. Here you can read as a index, and you will, oh, index is not defined, sorry, item only we are defining it from the starting. So here we are defining item, so here also we have to use that one, and we have to show the rendering of list of items. That's how the list rendering will happen. And along with that, we have learned about form submitting the data. So I hope you got an idea how to submit the data from the front end and how to get the data from the back end. Getting the data, we will use the list rendering like a map function, and sending the data, we will use submit the data from front end with the form on submit, or else any other thing like a click function we can do submit. That's not a problem. So let's go with another thing concept, which is called conditional rendering, sorry, controlled and uncontrolled events. So basically the components are classified into two things, which are controlled and uncontrolled components. So in control components mainly, control components mainly, the React maintains the control of this state, everything what we are doing now, so that how we are passing the data via props from parent to child, and how we are using the callback function to child to parent, everything. For example, if the component as a state is changed, everything will be handled by the functions inside the parent or else in the child. That's how the controlling of the state, so that component, so that the UI won't get disturbed. That is called control component, nothing more than that. That is a just theoretic question, so that you can use general component function what we are using here. For example, here condition like this, these are the controlled functions. But in uncontrolled functions, where DOM handling of the state, what is that DOM? Here this DOM handling of the state, like which are managed by the reps. We are using refs, right? Where for on focus, which we have used as a example. I think we have used it, but whether we have kept it, no, we didn't kept it. So on focusing, we have to resist on means like reloading the stuff. That those uncontrolled components mostly will be used with the help of reps. Okay, so that is the main difference. So in short, means for example, in the interview point of view, they will ask again, means this is an interview point of view question. So why I am saying in the last, because you have learned about the reps and you have learned about the functions and everything. So control versus uncontrolled, they will say. So basically the choice of a component which we are discussing depends on the requirement. Okay, we will use the control components also, uncontrolled components also, but based upon the requirement. Okay, control components will use for more React centric approach, which you can say like simple word, React centric approach to manage the state. Okay, this is called control components. Uncontroller direct interaction with DOM, like useref is using, we are using it for uncontrolled components. You got it right? So here what you can say is, anyone if ask means, first thing, it will be depends on the requirement what we are using. For example, if you want to control the state and everything data inside the React and everything, centralized state management and everything, so we will use control component. For example, like on focus, on reloading also it should be autofocus. At that time we will use useref. Okay, useref as which is uncontrolled component, direct interaction with the DOM. So if you say this thing in the interview, that is the best outcome of the result what we are means what we have learned about control and uncontrolled components. Okay, form handling means sending the data to backend and getting the data from backend. That is the difference. You will get confused. Back end. Mostly you will use server, not backend. You can say server. Okay. So now let's go with the child and parent component with the help of callback function. So previously I told you what is component function and what is a parent to child transfer, which is props, and grandparent to grandchild or any other transfer, which is props drilling. So here now we will learn about with about the child to parent transfer, how we will do it with the help of callback function. So let me create one example so you will get it. So I don't want to do these things, so I will create one, not here, outside this one I will create. So inside the source child.js, so rfc child. So what we'll do in the child component, so nothing, same like that, transferring, how we will transfer the data here. So constant same data set data equal to use state with an empty string, because I want to send only the empty string. So how will you do it? Constant handle change is a function where handle change function, what I will use event, triggering that event, how we will target it. So constant new data event dot target dot value. So once I got event dot target dot value, I am setting that new data inside this set data so that it will be automatically setted here, and I am sending the data to send with a function with a state name send data to parent. Okay, I will send it. Right now I am using it as a new data now. So send data to parent. So here instead of child I'll use as label inside the label I will use enter the data, so where I will get the data. So I'll use input tag. So inside that input tag I will enter the data which I want to transfer to parent. So how will I transfer? First I will have to type, so text will be my type, and after that value will be the data what are getting the dynamic data state, and on change what is the trigger, handle change. So that's how I will getting the child component. So this is the child component, and now I am sending it to parent component. So let's send it to parent component. Well, let's take app as a parent component here. So import child component from dot slash, what is the name, child. Okay, so let's take a app as a parent component for that child component. So here in the app I will use div where I will write h2 or else h3, anything, data received from child. So what is the data I will receive it, I will keep it here, in which I will have to do child component. Inside the child component, what is the parameter I'm using, what I have used here, send data to parent. So that parameter which I will use here equal to with a function, that function I will write here. Okay, don't worry. So first of all, that data is transferring from there to here means that state to here state, right? So I have to use one state like show, set show data with an use function as empty string. So after that I have to write a function where I have to show, right? So handle received data which is coming from child. So that how data is going to set show, what are they to be showing, it should be data. I think we are using the state name data, right? Yeah. So data and this function I will trigger for here from here, so that whenever I have child component I will make this handle receive function from triggering here, where it will set the state of that set show. In the set show, what is the data, that is the data which is coming from new data. New data is what, event.target.value, whatever we are writing in the child data. That's how we will get it. So somewhere data is not defined or set data is not defined, somewhere we have done a mistake. I think everything works fine. Let me check. React state, use state, child component. Okay, here we didn't send the data, that's the issue. Okay, data is not defined. Why? Data set data, use state, handle change, and event constant new data equal to event target value, set data equal to new data, send data, what are your firm sending data, and in the div you are entering the label type text of value data in this one. Okay, here you are importing the state. Let's we know this stuff, so I am removing it. So importing the child component from the child, then we are making app where receive data equal to show set data, and okay, here we didn't use the data parameter. I think it will, yeah. So this is the data we are entering, and it should be entering from the parent to child. So let me show here console.log of show data received. See, I am getting the data received. What I am getting? I am getting the data So I want to show the data here, so I will show that with state. So I have given here value, but I didn't give in the state. So see, whatever I'm data writing, like for example is WHIZ Swhizz Technologies MERN training classes. See, so you are getting the data. That's how. This is a child one, this is a parent one, but we are transferring child to parent with the help of callback function. So you got an idea of how to transfer the data from child to parent, right? So we are callbacking the function. How means, first of all go to the app and it will for show which is empty, and it will trigger the function once you have this component inside that. What we are getting, set data means the data. What is the data? That is the data which is argument state which we are getting from here. What is the data string? It's the target value what we are entering in the input. That's how we will get it. Reverse engineering means here we are typing it in a reverse from input to output, but the React will show from output to input. That's how it will work. Okay, then this is the things which we have learned from this class, like control and uncontrol, form handling, list rendering, and child to parent with using the callback transfer. Okay, further topics we will learn in the next session. Thank you.